might as well rock and roll.
Yes, guys. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in for a special show on the channel today. Obviously, got myself and the one and only Dan Potts. Big up, Dan. How you doing, man?
I'm good, Jay. Big up. Thanks for having me, bro. It's hot. I'm trying to keep cool. It's the hottest day of the year, apparently. And I've been streaming for most of the day, so I've been inside just baking. So I need to go get some sun after this, bro.
Look, I don't do heat, man. Give me a bit of snow and a fallen leaf, and I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? I don't do this sun.
Nah, it's a warm one, bruv. And if I'm honest, I like it, but I've got to be honest. It's I like between 25 and 26 is just what I like. Anything above that, I start to, I've got a bit of hint and ginge. Do you know what I mean? So
same here, man.
I can't be dealing with that.
Yeah, anything 34 is not right. That's not normal over here. You know what I'm saying? But before I go on, I was watching something about the heat actually the other day, and I was watching this YouTube show, and it's about Americans over here in England over the heat wave in the last week or so.
Right.
And they're like, they couldn't, because they think we're wimps and we can't handle the heat. And they came over here, and I was like, no, your heat is different. They're like, your heat is different. It's mad. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
It's like, we try and tell you guys. No one listens. It's crazy over here. 33 degrees is like, it shouldn't feel this horrible, but it does, unfortunately. But yeah, guys in the chat, much love to everyone here. Make sure you're hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing. And don't forget to go and subscribe to Dan's channel as well. Moderators, make sure you put links in the chat. I'd appreciate it. So everyone go over there and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. We're going to be talking about Liverpool and Arsenal today, guys. A little bit of a special show. Obviously, it's normally a Liverpool show, but yeah, we're going to talk about Arsenal's transfer window because, look, they are one of our rivals, the last few years. A club that I've got a lot of love for, Arsenal, but, I know that's not, in today's, there's a lot of arguments between Liverpool and Arsenal fans, but I think Liverpool and Arsenal are quite similar as football clubs more than people think they are. But this transfer window, it's the end of the month. It's the 1st of July tomorrow, Dan. So apparently that's when everything's going to kick off for every team in the world, apparently. Who knows? But transfer window so far, Dan, what do you think with Arsenal, the way you're going? I think you got, is it 3 players looks like you got coming in now, 4 players coming in? How do you see your transfer window going so far this summer?
Underwhelming at the moment, bruv. I've got to be honest. I look at what Liverpool and City are doing, and I'm a little bit jealous of some of the names and also some of the positions you filled, because I feel like Liverpool actually do need similar positions to Arsenal and probably City, to be honest. But it looks like we're in a position now where we're going to be left behind if we don't start doing something quickly. I've got to be honest, I have a lot of time and respect for Liverpool because when you were crap, we were good. And when we were good, you were crap. And that's basically where we're at. And even last season, I said to Sam the other day, we didn't even get to have a proper rivalry with you because there wasn't really a title race. So I've never really seen Liverpool as huge rivals, to be fair, other than 89, which was a little bit before my time. Obviously, I was 2 years old when we won the league and Michael Thomas scored at Anfield. That is a little bit too before my time, unfortunately.
Quick thing on that, Dan. That's the day I started supporting Liverpool.
No way.
Yeah, because I'll be 44 this year, so I'm a little older, right? And I was sitting with my dad in the living room, and we watched the football together every week mostly because back then I think you had one big game on ITV every weekend.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and usually it was either a Liverpool, Arsenal, or a Man United game because they're the 3 biggest clubs. And it was the actual final game of the season between Liverpool and Arsenal. I didn't really know what was going on because I was like 8, 9 years old at the time. I was still not really bang into it at the moment. But when we lost, my dad picked up one. Do you remember them really thick, massive ashtrays you used to get in pubs?
Big time. They were quality.
Yeah,
don't get them anymore, man.
No, my dad had one of them. He used to smoke his roll-ups and just had a cloud above his head every day. It was just mad. And he picked up, when Michael Thomas scored, he literally picked up this ashtray and threw it at the telly, right? And it embedded inside the telly. And my mum was just in the kitchen going absolutely mad. And I'm sitting there in my armchair, like looking at my dad, looking at the telly, and going, "Wow, if it means that much to my dad that they lost, I'm going to support the club my dad supports." So yeah, that's what made me a Liverpool fan. I've been a Liverpool fan ever since, man. And it's just from my dad's emotion.
That for me is never going to happen again. Like I know people tried to compare it to Aguero's moment at the end.
No, it's the best. It's the best.
It's
final
never
day.
going to happen again, man. It's by far the best. But look, bro, I've got to be honest. I'm underwhelmed because we've got a backup goalkeeper that's pretty meh. I'm not a huge lover of him, but I know he had an okay season last time. I'm not a huge lover of Kepa. I look at the scenario of his defence and I understand why we're looking at a right-sided centre-back because obviously Saliba, Timber and Gabriel all ended the season injured. So I know that we're going to need another defender. It's just a little bit frustrating that we're looking again at another centre-half and another left-sided centre-half as well. Then I look at Zubimendi, and I know your Liverpool fans probably won't like it, but I do think he's a good footballer, and I think
He
he's
is.
a good signing.
Yeah.
But I don't look at it and go, wow, it's a huge upgrade to our midfield. Norgard, let's be real, that's just a backup, and it's going to do nothing to me. And I wonder if we've actually strengthened in that midfield position at all now. And then there's nothing more. I mean, there's links with Eze, there's links with Gyökeres, there's links with Sesko, there's links with Rodrigo. Well, links are lovely, mate, but I need to see some of these players coming through the door. So from tomorrow onwards, we're being told that it's going to have a kind of massive effect on what we can and can't do due to PSR. I think everyone's in the same boat. So, and you know what? There was someone, I think, big up to Pete. He's a Newcastle fan. He made a good point today. He said, look, I know everyone's losing their minds, but other than Liverpool and City, who's looking strong right now in the Premier League? And he's right. No one is. You know, like Man United ain't done much. Arsenal ain't done much. Chelsea ain't really done much. I know they're going mad, but Delap and Gittins don't win them a title, in my opinion. So there's a lot more for them to do too. So I kind of feel it's underwhelming, but we're not the only ones, Jay.
No, and you are right about these underwhelming signings because I looked at Chelsea today and I think they put a graphic up of Gittins, Palmer, Pedro, and Delap, and like almost £2 billion spent, and that's your four.
Scary.
And that's just. I'd be angry if I was a Chelsea fan. To be fair, if that was my four going forward, because that just lacks of any kind of ambition right now. And I know they're always talking about the future. Don't know about you, Dan. I live in the present, mate. And
Same, bruv.
I want to win today and worry about tomorrow. Do you know? Do you know what I mean?
Facts.
And I think Chelsea got it the other way around. With Man United, look, it's just as long as we can keep laughing at them, it don't matter. But yeah,
it's taken them about six months to try and get Mbeumo, mate. I can't believe it.
Do you know what makes me laugh? Yeah, I think Cunha and Mbeumo are good footballers. Yeah,
yeah, same.
But if you told Man United fans who were buying them 4 years ago, they would have done their nut.
I know.
That's how much they've fallen off. Now they're happy about themselves. But I think Man United should have bought players like that years ago anyway. I think they've always bought wrong players and build properly. But yeah, I look what's around me as a Liverpool fan, and it's Arsenal and City. I think Liverpool, Arsenal and City are just far better than everyone else in the Premier League right now. And they're the three. And I look at City. I know City are getting a lot of admiration at the moment, and that's because they're playing. And these are like I hear everyone right now about City. Oh, they look great. They look great. Well, they're playing. Arsenal and Liverpool aren't. They're on the beach right now. They're doing business behind the scenes. So, yeah, City have got a bit of a head start on us, maybe getting their players fit and ready. But they do look good.
Yeah, City will be back because Rodri's back and they're making some good signings.
Quality signings.
I don't think it's going to be like wow, City. We can't. Because I think what Liverpool for me are winning the market at the moment. I believe Liverpool winning the league as things stand. That could change, but I think right now, if the league was to start tomorrow, I'll be putting my money on Liverpool to go back to back. And I think that Man City, as much as I think Rodri is back, I still do have question marks over their defence because I think Guardiola and Diaz are decent, but I haven't seen them play together too long. Obviously, Ain't Nori's coming in, but he's not defensively good. He's brilliant going forward. They need a right-sided back because I don't know if Akanji's playing there, or Rico Lewis, or who it is. Kyle Walker's gone. I think they want Livramento, and that would be a good signing. But I've got to see what City do more yet. I'm not going to go for them to win the league just yet, although I do think they'll be very close because they're quality, mate. They're top.
Yeah,
quality.
I mean, look at the money they spent. I think they spent from January till now. They've just, they can spend at a level that not a lot of teams can, but they're also got owners who don't care about anything, so they just spend. They want to play. Pep wants to play, right? We'll go and get him. Obviously, they got their way of doing it, but yeah, they're always going to be back. They've got too many quality footballers. They had a bad time of things, and although I do feel like when Man City have a bad time of things, they get away with it a little bit. I think it's because they're successful before that, but I can guarantee you, if Liverpool and Arsenal fell off like Man City did last year, it'd be everywhere being spoken about more. Even if we won 4 on the bounce or something mad like that, it would still be spoken about more. I think Man City do get away with it when they drop off. It's like there's less pressure almost.
Yeah. I think Man City, the reasons were obvious last season. What had happened has gone wrong. I imagine those won't happen this time, and you've got to put some pressure on them. I think when they don't win a trophy, it's been a horrendous season for Manchester City. It's been a failure of a season. So Pep can't do anymore. I still think Pep will go. I don't think he's staying for more than 2 more years tops. I don't think that he's going to be one of these guys that does a Sir Alex Ferguson or a Wenger and does 20 years at a club. I just don't think that's happening. So I'll be very interested in this season what happens with Manchester City. And I think as well, people seem to forget. I think Reinders is an unbelievable signing, by the way, and I think Rodri's superb. But I look at the creativity at Manchester City. Cherky's got a bang because Foden, he's fallen off of a cliff. He's got to get back into it. KDB's no longer there. Bernardo's not got the legs anymore. Like, it's a big risk about that kind of KDB replacement. If it ain't going to be Foden, and people just imagine Foden's going to be great again because Rodri's back, well, that might not happen. Cherky, good signing, baller, but it's a risk really to rely on all of him for kind of, because he was only 25, 30 million, wasn't he? Which is a bargain, by the way, and he's a good player. But is he going to be delivering sort of 20 GA? I don't know. He's got to, but is he going to? So I think that Manchester City ain't all just, Rodri's back, that's it. They're going to go and do the treble again. I think they're a long way from that. I still think they're a few players away.
Yeah, even when I watched them against Juventus the other day, they still look a little bit soft, defensively, like you said. I think if I look at Man City right now, I look at a team that's got exceptional players and a very good team and a world-class manager, but I don't fear them like I used to, if that makes sense. The City of the past, where they just had them wingers, Aguero, De Bruyne in his prime, David Silva, and Bernardo Silva. When they were in their prime, and that team was just unbelievable. You faced that team and you thought, like, you knew if you drew a game and they won a game, you're like, it was like that. Now I don't feel like that quite so much at this moment in time. And I just think, Pep's a world-class coach. He's been there a long time now, and it's very difficult to keep your momentum and everything going year in, year out, constantly on the highest of levels, especially the way he plays. So I think City have been brought down a little bit, almost levelled off with everyone else, and hopefully it's going to make it exciting again next season in the Premier League, where we have this 3-horse race.
Look, I do think at the moment there isn't a 3-horse race. I think it's you and City. I really do.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't think that we've done enough. I think we've stood still and you've progressed, both of you. I think the signing City have made with Rodri back has put them back in with a great shout. And I think Liverpool look better than they did this coming season with Florian Wirtz. I think people have underappreciated how good he is. Kirkes, I'm sorry if you're a fan of Robertson and Tsimikas, but he's levels on those two. Frimpong, I know he's not Trent, but it's not exactly a bad backup for Trent, is it? Replacement for Trent. So I actually think with a striker, and I don't know who the striker is going to be. We'll mention that, I'm sure, in the stream. There's rumours today that Ekitike, Isak, Osimhen, Gyökeres, they've all been mentioned a bit like Arsenal now. So I think you're going to get a number 9, and I think you're right in it. I don't know that Arsenal, without right now, until we sign. We could end the window, Jay, and we could have Liverpool, City be in a title race. Arsenal then end the window with Gyökeres, Eze, and Rodrigo coming in alongside what we're getting. Then cool, we'll have a conversation and see who's in the title race and who's not. But right now, I feel like you're going to leave us both behind. I could be wrong.
Yeah, see, I had this argument with a lot of people last year because I rate Arsenal's squad and what Arteta's built over there. But even last season, I always felt like Liverpool just had the edge on Arsenal in certain areas of the pitch. Now, you can talk maybe about the midfield or anything like that at the time, but I always thought about our forward power. When I look at Liverpool, I always think we can outgun any team in Europe almost.
Yeah.
And, with that power we have that up top. And when you sign players up again and you keep your Mo Salahs, I know rivals... they say every single year, Salah's going to fall off. This is going to be the year. This is going to be the year. I just don't see any proof in that. And if he doesn't score as much as he does last season. Look, last season was a ridiculous. Stat-wise, it's as good as I've seen. Do you know what I mean? And if he falls off a little bit off that, but he's still getting over 20 goals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's a fall off? What is a fall off for Mo Salah? I'm not sure. So keeping him for Liverpool was great. But when I look at Arsenal, Dan, I always look at what you do at the other end of the pitch, because I always say Arsenal are hard to beat. Yeah, you're a hard team to defeat. Yeah, but I think where Arsenal come unstuck a lot of the time is just picking up too many draws.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's your firepower up top. Now, Martinelli, he had that one great season a few seasons back, didn't he, where he got, was it 20 in all comps or something? He looked fantastic. Not really been the same since. Saka, I think there's too much over reliance on Saka as a neutral looking in on it. And then through the number 9 area, you're still experimenting years on. You know, you've not got it seems like it's an experimental stage with your striker every season in the last few years. Like, now you bought Havertz, and Arteta bought him as a midfielder. Then I'm going to make him a striker because Jesus ain't quite working, or he got injured, and then I'll get in thingy from Brighton and Trossard from Brighton, but I'm going to make him a left winger, and not for And it always seems an experimental stage, and then obviously you had injuries last season, which isn't all down to a manager, but then you get. And I called it. I was talking to Hooks, and I said to Hooks, I guarantee you right now, Moreno's your striker next. Now Thingy's injured. He went, no. I went, no. If you actually look at the way Havertz and Moreno play, they're extremely similar.
Yeah.
They're extremely similar. So, and he made him his striker. So do you feel that's the thing that's just letting Arsenal down right now? This experimental forward line that he keeps going with every season instead of just going, you know what? He's a striker. Let's just go and get him. Let's go and put him out there. He's a left winger. Let's go and get him. Let's go and put him out there instead of all this. He can go there. He can go there. He can go there. Sort of thing.
Look, I like versatility, but Arteta is obsessed by it. And unfortunately, bruv, when you spend 414 million on a midfield and 80 million on an attack, it don't take Einstein to work out where you're short, right? Jesus and Trossard are the only two we've spent money on. Havertz was a midfielder we put up there. Marino was a midfielder we put up there. And so for Martinelli come through they didn't come through the system. Martinelli was 6 million, but my point is he was already there when Arteta walked in the door, right? So I'm looking at the scenario now, thinking Willian was a flop, Sterling was a flop, Eddie and Nketiah needed to go, Reece Nelson, Smith Rowe, Vieira hadn't really worked. We need to look at these kind of attacking midfielders / strikers and go, right, which are these players that you're improving? There's only really Saka. All the others have either stayed where they are, gone backwards, or left the club, or ain't worked when they were signed. So I think you've got to be brutal there and ruthless in that position and that front line. The other thing I'll say is the style of play is massively confusing, if I'm honest with you, Jay. In the last 3 years, I've seen us go from scintillating blitzing teams in the 22-23 season where we go 8 points clear and everyone's like, where the hell has this come from? To then the next season getting PTSD and going more rigid, to last season playing Stoke FC. So I'm starting to wonder what his style is going to be this coming season. Because if you go and buy Isak or Gyökeres or whoever it is, name me any striker, and you play the way we did, it ain't going to be great for the striker because he's trying to get it on his bonds like everyone else is. So I'm sorry, but that ain't where I want to play. And I'm wanting and praying, everything crossed, that if we do get the winger and the striker everyone's wanting, that we actually go back to the style of 22-23 where we're good to watch, we're attacking, we try and beat the low blocks, we actually surprise a few teams. We've got a couple of players that we bring in, like maybe an Eze who we're linked with today, who's actually good to try and beat low blocks. These are the sort of players that I think we've got to try and look at. So for me, go and get that winger, go and get that striker, and stop trying to find a piece to try and fit in that puzzle for now. I know you like a false nine and it worked with Pep. It ain't worked with Arsenal. Havertz and Jesus ain't going to win you the league. Go and get that prolific number 9. Let's get a gunman in the box. That's going to take us to that next level. And then we'll have a better chance. Like, we might not win the league. And that's the thing, Jay. Even if, let's say, right, you are like, right, what are Arsenal going to do? Let's say Arsenal go and buy Isak and Rodrigo. I'm dreaming, but let's just say we do.
It's
right?
a heck of a window. Yeah.
Yeah. One is a heck of a window, but it still don't mean we're going to go and win the league. Because if we start playing the style of football that we've been playing with those two players, they're going to hate it. Yeah. So it doesn't mean we're going to go and take to the next level. Now, more realistic window probably isn't, of course, Isak and Rodrigo. But my point is, even if we had a phenomenal window, the manager has still got to get it right and get it across the line. And unfortunately, as much as some people love it, I don't personally believe that he is the guy to get us across the line. And I've still got my doubts. And of course, I hope I'm wrong. I hope he wins bloody everything, mate. But yeah, I've got to see it to believe it, mate. Is where I'm getting at.
No, I hear that. I've said this many times watching Arsenal the last few years. Like, Arteta changes the way you play. Like, it seems like every season since he's been there. But that year where I think you took the Premier League by a bit of a surprise, where you really almost won the league, where was it Odegaard getting over 20 goals, Saka, Martinelli. You know, you played this sort of more free-flowing attacking football. And then the following season, it was like, I couldn't win the league playing that way, so I'm going to go a bit more reserved now. And it's like, I didn't get it because as soon as you've done that, the attacking players drop off a little bit. Odegaard dropped off a little bit straight after. Martinelli dropped off. Saka didn't drop off, to be fair, because Saka's a quality footballer. But, players dropped off and you're hard to beat. As I always say, Arsenal are very difficult to beat. But that way of playing, trying to win a game 1-0, can, put in a mindset of a player like if we concede one here, have we got it in us to go again and get a second or a third to get us over the line? And I think the last couple of seasons, maybe that's what's just held you back a little bit because, having been a Liverpool fan with Klopp, especially in charge the last few years, and then with Slot, it's like their plan A is plan A, and if plan A don't work, make plan A work. Do you know? do you know?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
I like that.
It seems like Pep's the same way. It seems that way. Like you can tweak things.
Yeah,
Like Slot tweaked a little bit of what Klopp did, and we dropped back in as a team about 5 yards more than we were under Klopp. So our high line weren't so high, and we still pressed, but it weren't a whole team press. It was maybe 3 press, 1 6 back, 2 press, 1 6 back, that kind of thing. But we still played nice, fluid attacking football and scored goals. I think sometimes Arteta maybe gets a little bit. I don't know if it's confusion or he's worried, or I'm not sure what it is, or he just overthinks it. He's trying to be a perfectionist where there's no such thing as perfection, and just let your players play sometimes.
He overthinks it. He micromanages. He does way too much of chopping and changing. He wants everyone to do everything, which is why he loves versatile players. The problem with Arteta as well is, look, Slot and Klopp's actually a good example. Slot walked into Liverpool and straight away I was impressed. Not because of how you were playing, because I knew you had quality players. It weren't because, oh my God, he's got Trent and Salah playing well. I've seen Trent and Salah play well, mate. Yeah, I've seen them win unbelievable amount of trophies. What he did was he just calmed you down a little bit. So he said, Salah, you're going to do a hammy if you keep doing what Klopp told you to do. Let's just calm down. And he's winning absolute delivered. You don't have to worry about tracking back. You don't have to worry about doing X, Y, Z now. He's absolutely flying. You look at what he's got maximised out of the players like Kenyatta. He's taken him to a new level, taken Curtis Jones to a new level, got the best out of Gakpo, Diaz, Jota and Nunez. He knew that he weren't able to get 30 goals out of those. So what he's tried to do is bring more play into Salah, Gakpo and Diaz. And he's done that. I think they've got about 40 GA, Salah and Gakpo and Diaz. So you look at what he's done with those players, that's impressed me more than it has getting Salah to the numbers he did, because I knew Salah one day would do that because he's that good, right? I think what Arsenal now need is we need to actually look at that and say, right, what can we learn from that? Because what Arteta did, right, was in that season where we looked brilliant. We went 8 points clear. He's gone, right, that didn't work. And instead of saying we make plan A better, which is what Klopp and Pep do, he went, we need a plan B. And he's literally got the whole sheet, scratched it up and gone, boom, right, let's start again. And then when it ain't worked this time, when we lose the game on the last game of the season, lose the title on the last game of the season to Manchester City, he goes, right, scrap that all up. Let's throw that away. Let's concentrate on set pieces and let's try and get corners and free kicks into the box more because we've got some tall people. And that hasn't worked. And Party doing long throws in this semi-final of the Champions League didn't work. So what are we going to do now? And it wouldn't surprise me, Jay, if he scratches it up and goes, right, let's go again. Now we're going to go to a little bit more of attacking mind players. We've got some players in it. So I really don't know what we're going to get from Arsenal and Arteta this season because it seems that it's slightly different each time. And I'm not a fan of what the manager has done when it's mattered. I'm a fan of him getting a team that wasn't really competing to a team that is now competing. But I've already seen us compete over the years. I need us to start winning now. It's time to deliver. And at the moment, the signings don't look like we're going to be ready to or able to. But that's what we've got to change. That's why we bought Andrea Berta in. And if we can get the players that we link with across the line, like the Rodrigos and the Ezes and the Grokeres and this kind of people, then brilliant. We'll have a great chance of winning something. But, you know, it's time to deliver now, Jay. Everyone can see that for Arsenal.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. I mean, I'm just reading Ben Jacobs' tweet just now, and it looks like Arsenal will go get Eze. Which, by the way, very good player. Very good player. Would you be a bit worried, though? Because I know a lot of Arsenal fans want Rodrigo, and I can understand why it's Rodrigo. It's a big PR signing and all that sort of stuff, you know, big marketable signing. If you're getting someone like Eze in, do you think that's the end of the Rodrigo talk? Because, you know, Odegaard plays that 10 role. I've not seen anything from Arteta to take him out of that 10 role or take him out of the team full stop. Eze, you know, likes to play in that 10 or left role. and then playing off that left-hand side, I think he could actually be extremely good for you guys. Do you think that might be the end of the Rodrigo stuff with Eze coming in?
Yeah, man. Not a lot of Arsenal fans will want to hear that. I could do two things here. I can say, brilliant, Eze's coming in alongside Rodrigo. We're going to be brilliant. This is what we need. Or I can be more realistic and say what I've always felt, which is that Rodrigo's going to stay at Real Madrid and that we're probably going to get Eze as our left winger. Now, I don't mind that if that is the case because I like Eze a lot. But I would much rather bring in Eze and Rodgers or Eze and Sanchez or Eze and somebody than just bring in Eze for Rodrigo and just get our striker. Because if I said to you now, Jay, Eze's coming in, you'd say exactly what you've just said to me. Oh, he's a good player. But you're not going, oh, my God, that's it.
No, it don't worry me as a Liverpool
don't worry
fan.
you, right?
No.
If I said to you that Eze's coming in alongside Rodrigo and Gyökeres, you might go,
bit worried,
not
yeah,
worried,
yeah.
but that's starting to get me a little bit. Arsenal going to be interested now. They're up for it, right? So that's what I want to get to. Now, if I then said to you, on top of the Zubimendi, Norgard, all the other rumours of players we're getting, which ain't really exciting anybody, but we got Eze and Sesko, you'd be like, well, Arsenal aren't in a title race. But well, we might be in a race, but we're not going to win it, in my opinion. That's not enough to get us across the line, is it? Sesko and Eze. So that's why it needs to be a Rodrigo, Eze and Gyökeres type summer. And I just fear that that's not going to be the case. But I could be wrong, Jay.
No, look. I think Eze is a very good footballer. I mean, I look at Eze. I think he's 27 now, I believe.
Yeah.
So he's at the right age for me for a player that's ready to go now. Yeah, ready now, ready to go. You know, we've seen what he can do. He's a extremely good dribbler with the ball, good tactician, got a good shot on him, good ability, good creative ability as well. He's a good footballer. I don't think there's any. I look at it though, Arsenal as a Liverpool fan. I think Eze's going to play off the left, Saka off the right, and whoever through the middle right now. I don't know if that makes your front line any stronger than last season.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Martinelli can do a lot of the stuff that Eze can do.
Yeah.
To be absolutely fair, I just think Martinelli's got a massive confidence issue. I think he's a big confidence player. When it's not going right for Martinelli, I think he finds it a bit of a struggle. Well, I've not really seen that of Eze. I think Eze's just extremely confident person throughout. So when I look at it like that, I just feel, well, is it any different? Is there much difference there right now? There's two issues with Arsenal in their 11 for me, and I think it's Odegaard and Havertz. Because one, I'm not quite sure what Odegaard does. And two, I don't mean this horribly, by the way. And with Havertz, I feel like when you've got Havertz in your team, you're paying him what you're paying him. Is it almost close to 300k a week?
Crazy.
He has to play, because if you're not playing a player with that much a week, he's going to start kicking up fuss. You're going to have to let him go. And I think he's Arteta's baby. He's the one that Arteta has signed since he's been at Arsenal, that he's determined to make a success. But where do you play these guys if you want all these other new guys in as well? How do they link up? How do they combine? How's the chemistry between them? Everything going there? I'm not sure. Like, if you buy Norgard, for me, means you're still going to keep Odegaard in the 10, right? Havertz can play 10 or up through the middle. He can't play anywhere else in that team for me because he's got no defensive ability at all, so you can't play him in midfield. Eze plays off the 10 or the left. Unless anyone's going, it looks a little confusing.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, because I just don't know where everyone fits in this puzzle. And I know people will come at me and go, "But you need a squad," and I get that. Of course, you need a squad, but you also got to have players that play. Like, I know from Liverpool, I could probably name Liverpool's 11 today for the opening game of the season, even with new players coming in and what position they're going to play, and it's going to become like no messing around. With Arsenal, I don't know yet.
No.
I don't, and I don't think Arsenal fans know yet, and I think that's a little bit of the worry, Dan.
Yeah, no, you're right. Look, I'll be honest. I do understand why people are confused by that. I do think that there's a number of positions alongside Eze we need, and that's why signing Eze, I think, is now going to start to get people excited. But that's only exciting if the players come in alongside him. If Eze is the one we're getting with Sesko, I'm not excited. But if Eze is the one we're getting with Rodrigo and Gyökeres, okay, now we're talking. And you're right about the first 11 thing. Look, Havertz and Jesus are going to be backup striker to whoever comes in. I think that's clear. Yeah. Saka's going to start. We're probably going to have Ethan, maybe Jesus if he's fit, as the kind of cover. If you get Eze, he can play there as well. But that is where we're at. We're going to get a left winger in so that Martinelli and Trossard can be the covers there. Obviously, Odegaard is the only one at the moment that's playing in that number 10 role. Ethan can do it, but he's young. Dalman's being promoted. He's 15, right?
So Arteta like Ethan, though.
I think Arteta likes Ethan. I don't think Arteta likes Ethan's lack of work off the ball at the moment, which is, I think, why he's been dropped.
He's
I
a
did
young
think he
lad,
was
though.
picking up. I know. That's what I mean. That's
Like,
what I mean.
sometimes don't you want your young players just to go out there and enjoy it and learn as they're playing, sort of thing, and not be too harsh.
He should have had more minutes, man. He should have had more minutes.
Last season, I remember you and Lee and a lot of Arsenal fans like, why isn't Wanyeri playing? Like, we're not going to win the league now. Give him a game, let him go and play.
Exactly.
He seemed to be in the cold a little bit, didn't he? Yeah, he seemed to be in the cold a little bit.
He seemed to be, and I don't know, man, and it's affected his England under-21 side as well, because he would have played more game time for us. He would have definitely played more game time for England. But look, I like Ethan. I think he's going to be a talent, and I think he'll be fine. But the Odegaard position's an issue, and I think Eze would come in and be brilliant for that. I really do think that. I think Eze can be a versatile player, which is what Arteta wants, but I think he can do that. And then obviously you then look at the midfield, and we've talking about what that looks like. I'm still not sure it's balanced, to be honest with you. I think Zubimendi and Rice are very good players. Whether that's right in the 6 and 8, I'm not too sure. Odegaard, we've mentioned, big question marks over his consistency and performances. I've always been a lover of Odegaard because he put me in the mud. And he put me in the mud because I wasn't sure about him, to be honest. We signed him, and he was on loan, and he looked all right. He couldn't get into the Real Madrid side, and I thought, is he really going to be what we need? And he actually was. He was brilliant for us. And he went and got 15 goals, 15 assists, and I thought, here we go. Now, goals and assists are good. I've been shut up. Let's just get on with it and say fair play. He's got into the team of the season the last 2 years. Fair play. This season, I'm finding myself the other way now, trying to defend him. And he's turning into the player I thought he was when we first bought him, which was a bit of a nothing player. And, it's a shame. There's no doubt in his technical ability. Bit like Szoboszlai, really. There's no doubt that he's a quality player in terms of his talent. But
it's up here sometimes, ain't it?
Yeah. Other than this season, I ain't really seen much from Szoboszlai, apart from smashing it from 30 yards over the bar. So I was a bit like, what's happening with this player? Because I actually rated that signing, and it didn't really work out. No. But for me, I look at the scenario of Odegaard, and I think, he should have some competition. Just because you're the captain and apparently one of your best players, I mean that you should be like, well, he gets a free rein then. Because Eze can push him. I'll tell you what, Ethan, if he carries on, can push him. And from what I'm seeing from Dalman, people might laugh at this at 15 years old. He looks ridiculous.
No, he looks like a good footballer, don't he?
Unbelievable amount of quality. So let's see what he's about in the next couple of years. But yeah, look, we've got some weaknesses. I'll tell you what, Jay, you don't even have to watch football, right, to know what Arsenal need, because anyone who listens to anyone that knows what they're talking about says Arsenal need a striker. So I can speak to a friend of mine who's never seen football in his life, or a friend and she's never even heard of players that we link with, but she'll know that we need a striker, and he'll know that we need a striker. They don't have to watch football to know that. So if we don't get it forward this year, I'm seriously starting to question what's going on. So it will happen. It's just a matter of who comes in and what it looks like.
Yeah, it's a weird one, ain't it? Because it's the one position, as you say, anyone who likes football, any football fan, if you ask an Arsenal question, what does Arsenal need? I think everyone would say striker before any other position on the pitch. But it's like Arsenal either think differently to us, to everyone else, or they've got this massive master plan, which Arsenal fans probably hope is the case that they're going to go with. I mean, like you said earlier, if you went and got Gyökeres and say your summer window, you didn't get everyone you got. Zubimendi already knew you was getting in, yeah? And then you've gone and got Rodrigo and Gyökeres. As a Liverpool fan, I'll be more worried about that than everyone you bought so far, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And as Arsenal fans, you'll be hype as well, because you're like, oh, we're serious. We're going to got the players we know that are going to put everyone else on edge. They're going to give us an edge. Liverpool fans, City fans will be sitting there and going, shit, fucking Arsenal went and done it, didn't they? Do you know what I mean? And that's what we'd all be like. But at this moment in time, I don't think Liverpool and City fans are like that with Arsenal right now. No. And as I say, Eze's good, but it's Eze taking you to the next level.
Yeah.
And I think I tell you what, I think Eze can take Odegaard's spot, though.
Yeah.
And because there is times when because Odegaard, I didn't realise this, but he gets substituted a lot.
A lot.
And usually the person who comes on really isn't doesn't play to a standard to take his spot. But if he's coming off for Eze in games, and Eze performs like we know he could, he can make that his own. He can make that role his own. That number 10 position.
I think Eze can definitely displace Odegaard with recent performances from what I've seen for Palace and what I've seen for Arsenal. Now, I understand it's different playing for Arsenal than it is for Palace. I get that. But he has scored in big games. He scored the FA Cup final, semi-final. Turns out in big games. Good player, been creative, flair player, can play in a number of positions. Big Arsenal fan as well. He said in a recent interview he's gutted when he left Arsenal at 12 years old. We released him.
When are you academy?
He was in our academy. We released him at 12, so he wanted to go prove a point. And I think he has proved that he could have been easily a squad player for the last few years, and certainly started even more before that. So I think that I think he'll prove to be a good signing if we get him. I mean, Tottenham want him, but apparently Kudus they're in for today more. I think they're dropping the Eze thing from what we understand because
it looks done by the sounds of it.
It looks like Eze is going to come to Arsenal. So I think that'd be a phenomenal signing. I really do, Jake.
No, I do as well. I really rate Eze, man. I think that'd be a quality bit of business for Arsenal to get him through the door. And obviously, it's what you get going forward. As we keep laughing about, it's the 1st of July tomorrow, where apparently PSR stops working for 24 hours or something, and everyone can just do whatever they want. I don't know what it is. I keep hearing this, Dan, all the time, even from Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, City fans. It's like everyone's waiting for the 1st of July because that's when PSR takes over. And does that mean you can go and spend? So does that mean you had a limited spending now, and then on the 1st of July, your limited is you can spend more? Because PSR, I don't get it. I don't
get it either, mate. Apparently, PSR, it all goes out the window and everyone can spend from tomorrow. So I'm expecting it to go mad tomorrow.
I'm expecting the maddest summer of all time, and if that's the case, and people just spending what they want because look, there's a lot. I don't know if you've seen the news today. There was still a lot of news with Liverpool and Isak.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk to you about it. I don't know what your thoughts are, bruv. It's gone mad today that apparently he's come out and said. It has come from Dimarcio, so it's not very reliable, that he wants to leave Newcastle or he wants to talk to other clubs or something. So, I don't know, bro. This one's going to drag on.
Yeah, Graham Bailey has said it today as well. A Liverpool journalist said that, he's turning down contract renewals at the moment with Newcastle because he wants to think about the future. Look, if Liverpool can do this deal, look, financially, we've been told already Liverpool got the money. Financially, it's not actually a problem to get Alexander Isak. The problem is that how difficult the transfer is to do. Because Liverpool don't want to wait all summer for one player and then he turns around, you can't do the deal, and then you're scrabbling around for another player. Because Liverpool need a striker like Arsenal do. We need a number 9. And Liverpool have decided that Isak's their guy. Apparently Michael Edwards has liked Isak for years, tried to buy him years ago as well. Richard Hughes, I believe Michael Edwards is apparently best mates with Eddie Howe as well, so they keep talking about that. Richard Hughes is in their friendship group and all that. And they've heard that he's available and financially it wouldn't be a problem. Now, if you're watching Newcastle closely, Dan, last few days, they're finding it hard to sign players. It's like they financially can't afford it. Look, they should have got Pedro in. They had the first opportunity to go and buy João Pedro. They couldn't afford it. They said they couldn't do it. They couldn't go to the number that Brighton wanted for him, and Chelsea came in. And what Chelsea do? What Chelsea do? Well, numbers don't exist, and they just go and buy the player.
Look,
this is interesting. It's going to be very interesting next couple of weeks.
I've been disappointed with Newcastle, and I'm not saying that everyone's doing business, so what the hell are they doing? But this is the time for them to go absolutely mad, in my opinion. They hadn't spent for 4 windows. They were being told that Isak, Bruno and Tonali were going nowhere. And in the time that it's taken for them to finish that sentence, it looks like Isak's unsettled and getting itchy feet. Livramento is interested in the Man City move. It looks like everyone they're going in for, they're getting rejected by. Buemo, Kudus, João Pedro. They're going in for James Trafford in goal, the Burnley goalkeeper. Not a fan of him. I know some people think he's brilliant because he's English and he's had a brilliant season with Burnley. But he was replaced by Muric last season because he was that bad. And he was throwing him in the own goal at Ipswich. So I don't think the guy's anywhere near ready. He looks lightweight for me. And he might make some good saves in the Championship. But I don't think he looks anywhere near taking Newcastle to a title. And I really thought that Newcastle were going to be all over this. I thought they were going to go and get Mark Guehi. I thought they were going to get a world-class goalkeeper to replace Pope. I thought they were going to go in for Mbuemo or Kudus on the right-hand side. I thought they were going to be keeping the players that they've got and adding some quality depth. But at the moment, it looks like they're going to get Elanga and Trafford. And I'm like, nah, that ain't going to take them to a title race. They'll get top 4 probably because they've got a good side already. But that's about all they'll do, in my opinion. As for Isak, if Liverpool do get him, it's over. Like, the league's done. It's back-to-back for Liverpool. I think you'll do it anyway. Isak just confirms that. If there is any inkling that he wants to leave, Arsenal need to be all over that bid as well. Now, he might pick Liverpool, and that's fine. But if I find out that you're going for him and we're like, nah, we want Sesko, I'm going to be livid because that is not happening.
I mean, you're right, man. You're right. Every top team in Europe should be after him. The fact that even neutral journalists like Fabrizio and all that are saying it's Liverpool. I don't know if Liverpool have been told something and they've just done their work. The thing with Liverpool, which when they do transfers well, because my club are very weird. One summer they can have amazing summers and they don't do anything for 3 years and then they have an amazing summer again. But when we do our work and we work, we're one of the best teams in the world at what we do. And we do a lot of the stuff, without no notice. It's like we decided to buy Wirtz in February, but no one reported it till about 5 weeks ago when we was in for him.
Yeah.
But we've been in for him since February. We already did the groundwork since February. And it just didn't pop up in the news or anything. But with this Isak news, it's all over the place right now. I'll tell you, there's only one reason it's all over the place as well, Dan, is because there's been conversations. Even if it's agent to agent.
Yeah.
There's been a conversation for this to break out. And look, if I'm Isak, I think he's 26.
Yeah.
3 years left on his Newcastle deal. Does he feel like Newcastle go to the places that he wants to play and be part of in the next 2 to 3 years, or is that going to be a Liverpool or Arsenal or PSG, a Barcelona or Real Madrid? And if he's really thinking about it and doing it properly, he's going to leave Newcastle. As much as Newcastle fans might hate this, look, Newcastle fans hate the fact that Liverpool fans keep talking about Isak and all that, but they're trying to take Elanga and getting pissed off with Nottingham Forest or not letting Elanga go. So we're all hypocrites in this footballing world. But if Liverpool can get hold of Isak, the rumours are today that Liverpool are quite comfortable. The rumour is today that Liverpool are comfortable at 135 billion for Isak, 140 billion. They're quite comfortable with it. Maybe Jota with it. Liverpool can pull that off, and you've got a Diaz, Isak, Salah, Wirtz front four. That's as good as anything in Europe for me.
Yeah, of course it is, man. Guehi as well. Like, they reckon Guehi.
Yeah, Guehi next week apparently. They're going to try and do a deal for that.
I've always been a fan of him. I think that's obviously means that Virgil van Dijk is, he's going to play half of what he's expected to play. I think that's no shock. That's no shock. He needs some cover, so I think him and Konate to back up. That is good. I like Guehi a lot. I think he's an excellent signing. But Isak's the one for me. If he was to get him, I still think that he'll stay at Newcastle and he'll be in a Barcelona shirt next season. That's my honest opinion. I think he'll stay at Newcastle and then he'll go to Barca next season. I don't think he'll sign a new contract. But if it is true and that he's interested in staying in the Premier League, then Liverpool and Arsenal need to be all over that. I think he probably would pick Liverpool because I think that you're there, you're winning, you're ready, you've proven you can win. But I still think that people might laugh at this, but I still think Arsenal's a really good club for him to go to. He's going to play first team football. Yeah. He's going to be in the next level. He's going to wear the 14 shirt and be the next sort of Thierry Henry was his idol. He's a big Arsenal fan, apparently, even though people say he's a Liverpool fan now because he's linked with them.
Oh, every player's a fan of everything.
Yeah. Oh, he's a Liverpool fan. He's coming like that. But I think with Liverpool, I think that if you get rid of Nunez, Diaz, Jota, or two of those, I think you've got an unbelievable chance of getting Isak because of the amount of money that will in. I know you've got enough already, but I just think it's a matter of how many, too many cooks, if you get me. I think you're going to need to shift some people out. But I do think you've got. I think I said this to Roms earlier. I think you will bid. Whether you get him, I don't know, but I think you will bid. I think you will. I think you'll go 120 or something. I think you will bid.
I think there will be an official bid, and the problem is, yeah, if Liverpool make an official bid for him of like 120 odd million, that it gets rejected. It's what Liverpool do next. Because do you go, right, give it a week or two, we're going to go back in with a higher bid, or do you move on? What like, as an Arsenal fan looking in, if that is the case, Dan, like Liverpool bid, it gets rejected. As a fan, what do you think Liverpool should do? Do they go again? Do they wait a week, talk, negotiate, go again? Or have you got to make sure, because you still got to get that striker in, you've got a limited window time, do you just move on to plan B, plan C, whatever that is, and try and get them in? Because you don't want to go too far over a deal. Like, is 150, if Newcastle want 150, should that only be for people like your Moles or the Lamine Yamal's and all that of the world, not Isak's? Where would you go on that?
So I spoke to Sam about this on my channel, and we disagreed. So I would go an extra 30 mil if that meant you got Isak. I think what is 30 mil in this day and age? Like, if it had to be 150, go for it. If you get to 150 and they're saying no, you can have that conversation about, right, is he really worth much more than this? Like, well, hang on a minute, this is a bit mad. And you then move on to an Osimhen, Ekatike, even a Gyökeres, whatever it be. I don't think that's a bad thing. You're not going to cry about that. At the same time, though, I think if Liverpool don't push that bit further, I think it might look a bit silly. Like, if it's 125 you go in for and they say no, and you go in for like 135, no, we want 150, and you don't go in for 150, no, sorry, like, we're going to go and get Gyökeres then, or whatever it be. I'm like, what? For like another 20 million more, you could have had Isak. Just do it. Like, it will take you to the next level, in my opinion. Like, I rate Isak so highly. And I know people say, like, he's not, like, there's a talent pool problem. There really is. Because, like, we're talking about strikers here. None of them would get anywhere near the kind of level of strikers we're talking about in the 90s and the early 2000s. But when you look at it, Isak's right up there now, and he's one that everybody wants. So I just think you break the bank for him, bruv. That's what I would do. And that's what I'd want Arsenal to do as well. But I just know he won't, because I know what the Cronkies are like.
Yeah, I mean, FSG are probably very similar to the Cronkies as businessmen from America, but I don't know. Saint tells me, I was reading Tom Werner, our chairman, he was talking to the Athletic the other day about Liverpool, and he's basically like, "What, we're just going for everything now. We want success every year now. We've seen it, we felt it. We've made mistakes in the past, and we don't really want to make them mistakes again. We just want to carry on with business and get players in." Because I think what's happened now with Liverpool financially is that now they've pretty much finished off Anfield at 62,000, and the revenue coming from that is huge. Commercially, Liverpool gigantic clubs and the money they're making from that, being in the competing for the Premier League every year, Champions League. Liverpool are just making so much money now. I think they're at a thing now where they want to be sustainable. Liverpool can be sustainable by spending 400 million a summer, but still be sustainable. That's where they've got to now as a club. So it was good to hear as a Liverpool fan from that, and which tells me, like, if players are available, they're going to go for them, and if they feel like they can get the job done, they'll do it. And thinking here about, we had 2 bids for Wirtz before we got the bids accepted, because they wanted Wirtz. There was no one else. They didn't want another number 10. It was Wirtz. We're going to get him. We're going to get the price we want and the price Leverkusen want. We'll do a deal, get the job done. I think they actually might do that with Isak if that's the case. If that's the striker they want, what's the point for going for anyone else? If that's
I agree. I totally
what's
agree.
the point? If that's what your sporting director, your CEO, and your manager, if all 3 of them come together and going, that's the guy we want. He is going to take us, because when Salah leaves, we don't have to replace Mo Salah, because you've got Isak who's going to take the goals up. You can go and get another right winger. It's just like maybe an old-fashioned kind of winger, get byline, takes players on, lots of assists for the striker. You don't have to worry about getting a Mo Salah region. Virgil leaves. Yeah, you're not going to get another Virgil in this market unless you get Bastoni, probably. And so what you do, we just get Wirtz as the next superstar, as a different position. So you've got a new superstar in the team. I think that's how Liverpool looking at it. They might be thinking, get Isak in. We haven't got to really worry about when Salah leaves then, because you've got this guy here and you can go and get another very good right winger. When Virgil leaves, it's going to be bad. But look, the superstar in Wirtz that we got here as well. We can go and get another very good centre-back, like a Mark Gay who's coming through, maybe, who people might laugh at. Replacing Virgil is going to be impossible. It's Virgil van Dijk, you know what I mean? But you've got to go and get what's available. and maybe that's the way the club are looking at it, which I rate. Then to be absolutely fair, so like if they can do this and get Isak in, I just. Yeah.
If you get Isak, you ain't just gonna have to win the Prem. You're gonna actually have to go and clear up a couple of trophies here because the squad you've got is so good. It would be seen as like just a Prem.
Oh,
is like,
you want success
you know
on
what I
a high
mean?
level. You'd want success on a high level.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that you take a league and go, "Oh, I'm going to cry," but at the same time, you
No, I
spend
get
all
what you
that
mean.
money and then you do what you did last year. Like you might have to do more than what you did last year, even if it's just a double. Do you know what I mean? I think it would be a phenomenal signing for. Look, I think it'd be a phenomenal signing for anyone, including Arsenal and Liverpool.
Yeah.
But I think if Arsenal signed him, I still actually don't think it's enough to guarantee the league. I think if Liverpool sign him, I think you clear up, mate. I think you easily win it, if I'm honest. Unless, of course, someone gets massive injury for the rest of the season, like you lose Salah or Virgil for the season or something. You know what
I mean? That's always things Liverpool fans worry about, these freak injuries that teams can get. But I don't know if teams can run on freak injuries in training or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can't have, as much as we'd all love 3 world-class players in each position on the pitch. You know what I mean? It's never going to happen.
You have got to strike while the iron's hot, Jay, right? Because Van Dijk and Salah have not got long left.
That's why I'm saying Isak will be perfect.
That's what I mean. So you're going to need to strike while the iron's hot because these players are potentially leaving. Who knows what's happening with Konaté on top of that? Alisson, likewise. Van Dijk, Salah. You got to go and do it now, man.
Well, I'm just reading here that apparently if Liverpool sell Luis Diaz, because apparently Al Nassr want Luis Diaz for about 85 million quid, which is just balmy.
Crazy.
Liverpool will go and get Rodrigo, apparently, is what they're saying right now. That Liverpool,
that's the late Rodrigo,
yeah. That's who Liverpool would be interested in. It's Rodrigo.
I knew that would happen though.
Rodrigo or Leao is what apparently Liverpool would be interested in if they let go of Luis Diaz.
I knew that if Rodrigo was available, which I don't think he will leave Madrid, but
I don't think anyone's getting him.
If he was to go, then I think it would be Bayern Munich, Arsenal, City, and Liverpool that will all be in for him because they all need a left winger. So I think it's just dependent on where he wants to go then. Do you know what I mean? So
and they're the clubs as well. I mean, how many other clubs is there that's Real Madrid are the top of top, they're if they're on the top of the mountain, then you got your Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Arsenal's and Barcelona's just underneath Bayern Munich's. I can't see any other club in Europe unless he just wants to go to Saudi for the bag or something like that. I don't see any other clubs in Europe in for him. But the problem is, do you want to leave Real Madrid? This is all on Rodrigo, I suppose, about game time for himself. He might feel like, I'm at the biggest club in the world, but I'm not playing. Yeah. And I want to play and enjoy my football. And I don't really play my best position either at Real Madrid, because Vinny plays left wing. I want to go out and do something.
I heard today Osimhen as well with Liverpool. I heard that. I don't know if that's true, but I think it's because Nunez is linked with Napoli or something.
I think it can be sometimes lazy reporting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because one striker's going to the club that he's at and he's got a release clause and no one's come in for him yet. Why has no one come in for him? I always wonder why no one's gone for a player like Osimhen, though.
It's weird, isn't it?
A lot of Premier League clubs need a striker that can afford him quite comfortably. Why has no one really gone in for him? I look at Liverpool, look at Arsenal, look at Chelsea. All clubs that need an out-and-out striker like that. Why has no one really taken the punt on Osimhen, Dan? What's wrong there? Is it wage demands? What is it? Because I've watched him play. He's a finisher. He'll get your goals.
Yeah.
He's quick. He's good in the air. He's athletic. He's strong. It's I don't know why no one's gone in for him. It's the same with Gyökeres. Why is Gyökeres taking so long to leave Sporting?
Oh, mate, I don't understand what's happening with Sesko and Gyökeres. I want Gyökeres. Sesko is the one I think we'll end up with. However, I do think Gyökeres would be a brilliant signing. But why is it taking so long? He wants to leave. He wants Arsenal. 70 to 80 million euros. Get it done. Sporting are mucking around because they want more money.
Is that what it is, do you think? Is it just Sporting?
I think so. I think they're mucking around. The problem you've got is Amorim and Hugo Viana are no longer there. And apparently they're the ones who said to him, look,
gentleman handshake with it.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Gentleman's agreement or whatever. Now it's not going to happen. So I don't know, bruv. I just want to I'm kind of getting bored of the talk about Sesko and Gyökeres now, Jay. Do you know what I mean? It's either give me one of them or just move on. And do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised you haven't gone in and got Gyökeres yet. I think Gyökeres does wonders for Arsenal, and I don't get it. I don't get it. I look at him and think,
he's one though, isn't he, that you would look at and go, right, okay, it's not Isak to Arsenal, but Gyökeres to Arsenal is like the next one down from that I think people would go, oh, okay, that's a really good opportunity for Arsenal to go and win silverware now because they've got their striker. Do you know what I mean? So I think, look, from tomorrow we might be a bit clearer on who we're bringing in and what's going on, because we're hearing that, Berta's doing a lot of work, and the 1st of July onwards we're going to get serious. But it does sound like it's just links at the moment. Like, we're linked with Gyökeres and Eze. We're linked with, Sesko and Rodrigo. We're linked with. We haven't
get both. Get both,
yet.
then. Get Sesko.
Well, do you know what? If we were a serious club,
get
Joe,
both.
we would.
110, 105 million, whatever it is.
Just go and get both. If that's who you want, go and get both.
Eze off the left, get Sesko and Gyökeres. Then you got a striker on the bench as well. You got depth.
And this is what we need to be doing, but we won't. Well, look, I think we'll end up with Sesko and Eze. That's what I think we'll do, and it won't be enough, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be either. Big up Joe the Super. He says we want all 5 charity FA Champions.
If there's any team to have a chance of doing it, front line, my God, man, you'd have a chance of winning a few of them. Let me tell you that.
I think English teams should start counting the Charity Shield, because all the other leagues count their community.
They do, don't they?
They all count them. They take it serious, man. So let's start doing that. Guys, we are going to get out of here. Dan, appreciate it, man. Great chat, man. Absolutely fantastic chat. Liverpool and Arsenal, guys. Make sure, guys, you go and subscribe to Dan's channel. Links are in the comment section. Go and make sure you go and subscribe to Dan's channel. You can see me there on Thursday afternoons as well. So there you go. Dan, appreciate the love, man. Appreciate your time. Appreciate everything.
Come on, bro. Legend, honestly. It's been a good chat, mate. It's gone quick. And enjoy the sunshine, people. Go and make sure you put the old suntan lotion on. Drink plenty. Make sure you're safe out there. But enjoy it. Put Wimbledon on in the background. Relax and have a nice afternoon. And do you know what? It's been a good chat, Jay. And I really pray that you don't get Isak. But if you do, then fair play to you. Won the league.
Hey, mate. Tomorrow's going to be mental. It should be mental tomorrow, Dan. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we've been told, bro.
Should be mental. I'm going to wake up in the morning to about 20 notifications for Britzo.
Right,